I'm going to share with you guys a whimsical spring recipe for your containers, and it is going to be so beautiful. I feel like all of these flowers should be easy to source and find, and they are some of the most gorgeous blooms, so let's get into it. We have some of the prettiest hellebores. Look at that. I use these hellebores in my garden every single year, and with these hellebores, the blooms last for a very long time, and then they fade to a chartreuse green color. It definitely screams spring, and they're a must for me every year in my garden. Next, we have these beautiful Gerber daisies here, and I absolutely love them. Let me turn one around so you can see the position a little bit better. One of the things that I love about these Gerber daisies here, they are a must. They're absolutely beautiful. They're very cold tolerant. Now, if you're expecting some freezing temperatures or if you're expecting frost, then you want to come in and you want to give them a little bit of protection. But if you look in the throat, you can see again that beautiful chartreuse color. Next, we have some yellow tulips right here that's dying to get out of the container. So I think this recipe will be very easy to source and find. Now, let's put it together. Let's dig down and see how far we have in the way of workable soil. I did pour some hot water in here just to loosen up the soil. I don't need as much of the soil to be thawed, but what we'll do is, because when we reach down here, it's hard as a rock. So let's go get some more water to put around the edges and on the inside. We got our water in here, so now once you do that, you want to kind of mix it with your soil that is on the cooler side, because we are going to have to work to get the look that we're going for. Let me go get our centerpiece, honey. Yes. here is our centerpiece. So we are utilizing these containers to do two things for us. The first thing we're using them for is to have a beautiful container to grace the front entryway, which I'm super excited about. But then we are going to also propagate some forsythia in the meantime. Now, I have these forsythia cuttings, and we're also going to be using some rooting hormone. So if you have some rooting hormone, actually you really don't need it. You really could just take your stem, cut it, and stick it down in the ground. But since I want to help these along, I'm going to be dipping mine inside of some rooting hormone. All right, so what we'll do is we'll cut off the rubber band that we have here. So we'll go ahead and make a cut. All right, so now I am just going to come in on the edge here, and I'm just going to make a fresh cut. No matter if they look like they need help or not. And see, I really like when you have the big branches like these. Really, you should be using your loppers. I'm going to try to make it through with my pruners. And again, we cut it. And now I'm going to come in the middle here and just make a hole. I'm going to take my rooting hormone, and I really should be doing this independently in a separate jar, but I'm just going to make sure I just get some on here, just like that. And that's way more than I need, but it's okay. And just like that. This is what we're looking like. Up at the top, up against the brick, we have the forsythia. Now, right now, it's brown, but the forsythia, there are forced blooms. We're forcing them, but we're also trying to propagate them as well. So what is going to happen is we're going to see pops of yellow. Is going to look absolutely stunning against the brick here. Then at the bottom, we have our hellebore, And if I turn the hellebore, you can definitely see where you have the chartreuse inside, but then you also have that hint of yellow, hence where we have our yellow tulips. And then you also have the Gerber daisy. And then around the bottom here are soil that is covered up with moss here, and I absolutely love the look. Couple of things to keep in mind when you're planting up early spring containers. One, pack your containers out like this. That's going to give you that designer look, but then it's also going to give you the whimsical look that we all want at this time. We want flowers, 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 flowers. Second thing, if your temperatures are going to drop to where they're going to be frost, you want to make sure you go ahead and you put a frost cloth over top of your containers here. And it's best that if your plants have been in a warm greenhouse, you want to acclimate them just like you would acclimate your seedlings, because otherwise they're just going to droop down and you could potentially lose your entire show. If you have temperatures that are going to plunge, I would just go ahead, leave that frost cloth on for the entire day. That way they're not flexing and they're covered, they're protected here. And I keep my frost cloth inside of an old comforter bag. That way when I need it, I can find it. And they do get ratted and tatted.